Hi,
Hello!
we are back.
Yep, 2018 now.
Yeah. So this episode is gonna be divided in two parts. The first one is the painting and the preparation of the steel frame.
And then, second part, finally we're gonna install, as you can tell, we did already, the aluminum windows on these steel frames.
So let's go.
Let's get to it.
It's funny how sometimes a simple task can become a long and complicated one.
Yeah, at first we thought painting was gonna be really easy, but actually, so far it was the hardest thing we've done. And that always started because of choosing paint without knowing what to do. Let me explain that. When we bought the shipping container, most of the companies that sell shipping containers here, in the south of Brazil where we live, they also sell modifications if you want. And most of them use a kind of primer called
Red lid.
And we thought that was the right one we were supposed to use, as everyone used that one. I'm not saying it's a bad primer, of course, but there are much better choices. So when we started to cut the shipping container and started to weld the frames on place, we thought this is the one you're gonna use. So the plan was, let's first cut the east container, that means this one, and we intended to finish these frames and these windows and doors so we could close and use this as a shop, like a workshop, and then we could do the rest, as any storage of tools. So we did that, and we use this kind of primer for this part of the shipping container. But when we finished it, we found out that we could use better ones. So we went to a paint store where they sell paints for cars, and they said like a really good one you could use would be epoxy primer. But there was one problem, that we could not give a second coat of primer on these windows with epoxy because we use this red lid first. They don't match together. So we found out a third kind that's called zinc chromate that you can actually use on the top of this. So these frames, they have, let's count, 2 coats of red lid, and then we found out that we could use something better, so we sanded a little bit, took off the rust that came back because we didn't paint right away with the final color, so that means the rust came back in a few spots. To make sure we don't leave any rust on place, we apply some rust converter, the one that converts rust into primer. And then we found out that this converter makes a little bit rough the surface, so we need to sand it again. After that, we apply the zinc chromate, that's a green one, and we did one layer, we sand it again, we did a second layer, and then after that we finally paint on this gray color that is a synthetic smalt for cars with catalyzer. Well, finally a layer of paint with the compressor that I'm happy with. I mean, I think it takes a while to learn how to paint with this machine, but I'm getting there. Now, the east side container is all done to install the windows. We just need to paint the west side tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. For the second half of the container, we changed our minds and we wanted to go with the epoxy primer. That's a lot expensive, but it's really good. You can tell the difference just by painting. You can see the difference. So this one was a lot easier. We just prepare the surface. We apply 1 coat of epoxy primer. There was one mistake. I took for granted the compressor, and I thought it was easy because with the other primer I just painted and it was fine with the compressor. But with the epoxy primer I didn't do it right. I guess I had too much pressure on the compressor, so it leaked a lot. So then, after I painted with the compressor the first layer, I did a second coat using just a little roll. I don't know how you call that. Just a little
Roll.
brush. And I sanded. I took all the bad parts and I did just with the roll, and it was really good. And we just left like that for a while until we did some other stuff on the shipping container. And after that, we just sanded a little bit more.
What are you doing?
Just giving just a little bit of sanding, so we paint the final coat. Not the final, 2 coats of the final paint. Hopefully, because we've done that a few times, and we always scratch the primer, and we need to do primer again. So now I'm doing really slow, just like a little bit of sanding, just so the paint gets well on the metal. Let's see. And we apply the final coat of the gray color, the same as this one. The good thing is, we thought, as we did so many different layers in every place, that it would be like a different color, but in the end it all looks the same. Seems like we did exactly the same thing, so it's really good. And I don't know, we really like the color, it's pretty good.
So this is gonna be the color of the whole shipping container?
Yeah, that's gonna be the color of the whole shipping container in the future, because we're not ready for that yet. It's too much rust to grind, and my hands are tired of grinding. So lately we've been having a lot of comments of things we're doing wrong, and for us that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We love to hear what you think and what we are doing wrong,
We are learning a lot.
because we are not trying to tell you that the way we are doing is the right way. Definitely that's not the best way. Definitely that's not the only way you can do it. Anything we are doing, everything we are filming and we are showing you guys on the videos is the way we found out how to do it, is the way we could do it somehow, because we don't know we never done this before, and it's just, I don't know, it's just what we can do with the experience we have. If you have anything to let us know that we are doing wrong, or any advice, we would love to hear. Just leave a comment on the comment section below, and we're glad to hear your comments and just try to get better, because we still have a lot of things to do by the end of the building. So I mean, if you say what is wrong, we might get better. And sorry if I'm sorry if we gave any bad advice. I mean, we are trying our best, so if we say something wrong, just correct us, please. So finally, after 2 months of a lot of work, we install the windows on place, and we have windows on our house now.
All of them.
All of them.
Even the bigger one.
Even the bigger one. And like always, we learn along the way, and the process changed not every single window, but you know, every group of windows changed a little bit how we did it. And this one, that's the kitchen window, is the one that always suffers. Why?
Because we always try first on this one, everything that we do.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a small window, but it's not that small, so it's a good one to try for the first time what you need to do. I'm not gonna try something new on a huge window, so we just get the smaller one. So this one is the one that suffers. So when we started installing the windows, we found out that actually it's pretty hard to have a 100% square corner on the steel frame. So
We needed to grind every single corner of the aluminum window.
otherwise, when we try to put on place, always scratch and might take off the paint of the steel frame.
It's not good.
Not good and too risky.
Yeah. So the other step is to put the spray foam.
Yeah, we need somehow to hold the windows on place. One possibility would be to screw through the window and through the metal frame. But
We were worried about using different kinds of metals, so
yeah, usually when you mix it up, different kinds of metal, it might change electrons, I guess. That's why it comes corrosion. And we don't want anything to have corrosion, so we decided to do without screws.
yeah,
Right now, all the windows are just on place by
foam.
just expandable foam. The good thing about using the foam is that at first, when you apply the foam, it's really loose and it's pretty fast, pretty quick for the foam to expand. But while that happens, we can still move the window around and find the exact position we wanted.
Yeah.
So how long did it take?
Around 10 to 15 minutes.
So we hold the window on place, us together, for like 10-15 minutes, just trying to find the correct spot.
Yep.
And after that, it's not 100% dry, but you can let go and it's gonna hold on place.
Then we waited around 24 hours.
Yeah, like 24 hours.
For most of them.
And
When
after,
it's not raining.
yeah, yeah, when it's not raining, but after 24 hours, we were able to apply a polyurethane on the corners, like just to make sure it's watertight. So we decided to apply this polyurethane around every window, and that's where the mistake was made on the first window.
Actually, the mistake started with the foam.
Yeah, actually the foam. If there was one advice to give about working with polyurethane, expandable foam, and a window, is use masking tape when everywhere you don't want the foam or the polyurethane to get, because once the foam touches any metal, it's gonna be like a mark. No, you cannot take off. Even if you take the whole thing off, it's gonna be yellow with time, with the sun, and with So use as much masking tape as possible in every single spot you don't want to get like a mark. And this was the problem on this one. We didn't use enough masking tape because we thought, no, the foam won't get there, but it always finds a little spot and it goes through, and then it's just a mess.
So we finished the windows. Actually, not finished because inside we didn't do any finishing. We are waiting for the insulation to have it done.
Yeah, the main thing is that, just a second. The main thing is that the windows are on place and they're not moving. I mean, they're really tight on place. And now we are free to work inside when it rains. And that's really, really a good thing.
Because here rains a lot.
The finishing of the inside, as you can tell, you can see the foam still. We're gonna cut the excess of foam, and we're gonna have a wooden finishing around the window. But that's something that we're gonna do in the future, not yet. There's no need to do it right now. As you can tell, we only show you guys windows, and we didn't show any door, any aluminum door. And we said last week that we're gonna have 2 aluminum doors. And the reason for that is because we didn't finish on time only the doors. Well,
because we have a problem.
You guys always think it's just excuse and excuse and excuse, but we are only 2 and we not always can do on time when the weather doesn't help. And this past week just rain and rain and rain, so we couldn't finish on time.
And actually the doors we need to find a solution because it's a different way to put it in a place.
Yeah, these windows come with the window and the frame together already. The door is just the frame, and then you put the door in place. So the frame
really light.
It's really light and bends really easy. So if we just apply straight spray foam like we did, it's just gonna bend the whole thing for sure. It's not gonna work. So we still need to cut some pieces of wood and to lock the frame on place, and it's gonna take a little bit more work.
We still don't know what's gonna be, but
yeah, I mean, this week we're gonna somehow finish that, and next week we're gonna show you guys the result.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
So, if you don't know, we have a new episode every Monday for you guys, around 9-10 o'clock Brazilian time in the morning.
So if you subscribe, you don't need to do the math.
Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to click on the little bell to be notified that we have a new episode. So, see you guys next week.
month. As you can tell, the windows are a little bit thicker than the regular ones because we decided to have mosquito nets in every single one.
Yeah, actually, We live in Brazil and we have a lot of green around the house, so here on the summer the mosquitoes just kill you. I mean, like they can literally get you and take you somewhere else because there are too many. I'm joking.